Jericho was developing a bad reputation with the fans of all Elite Wrestling, with many claiming that he had hurt more wrestlers' careers than he had helped. But there was more, and it was about to boil over hours before World's End 2023.
Nick Hausman, apparently in some sort of Twitter beef with Chris Jericho, unveiled that on a podcast as well that Chris Jericho is... He made a comparison between Chris Jericho and Harvey Weinstein. Now, if you don't know, Harvey Weinstein, one of the biggest sexual predators in all of Hollywood history. Kylie Rae apparently put a heart emoji in response to Nick Hausman. He put a heart emoji in response to her. According to him, some people had told her to go to a room where there was supposed to be Jericho and a bunch of other people. She got there. Jericho was the only person in the room. He made some advances towards her. She freaked out, and that's why she quit the company. Now, Kylie Rae has not said flat out that this is exactly what happened. Again, her only response to this so far, as of time of this recording, has been a heart emoji. Jericho hasn't said much about it, from what I've seen, and that has me a little bit concerned. Probably not for the reason you're thinking. It has me concerned that he might be thinking about suing somebody.
I want to be very clear that my opinions of Chris are my opinions of Chris. I've heard a lot of things over the years. I don't personally like Chris Jericho. I think that's pretty obvious at this point. I think that there's a lot of issues there. There are other people that when issues come to the surface, it can take away from the legacy that they've created. And that is just a concern that I have for Chris. And that is all I ever meant by my comments. And that then elicited a thread, that clip, where other people were starting to allude to previous allegations against Chris, sexual misconduct.
Two things. When he says at the beginning, I'd like to talk about the Jericho misconduct allegations. That's your story. What do you mean you want to talk? Like, it's just out there. You started that story.
Right. So maybe that doesn't sound like he's insistent he's not walking back the story, but he still hasn't, correct me if I'm wrong, has he told a story yet?
No.
Or is it just said that there's out, he's basically saying, I got the dirt on the guy, but I'm not going to report it.
Yeah, and I read... Is
that what it says? Is that what it sounds like?
For sure.
Okay, so in our opinion, that's what this sounds like.
Yeah, that's all.
Right, so it's like, I don't know.
And the thing is, when he says there's allegations against Chris, well, the thing is... Where
are those?
I read Kylie Rae's Instagram post when she left AEW on the show when we recorded yesterday, and she never said that.
Tony never alluded to it.
Exactly. Yes.
She never alluded to it, but all of a sudden somebody's coming up and saying, there's something there that hasn't been alluded to, is what he's implying.
Right.
That there's more to... Okay, well, what's the story?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, bro, are you literally just, trying to, come out and say, hey, I got some dirt here, but I don't want to get kicked out of the AEW scrums, so I'm not going to report it.
I know there's been a lot of people who were upset with my NDA tweet and kind of how it came about, and I just want to let everybody know that it wasn't just some jab I was looking to take at Jericho. I knew full well that it was probably going to hit in some way. I didn't know that it would hit near as hard as we've seen it hit.
Is he releasing a new single on the radio? I mean, I knew that was going to hit.
No, what he's saying is, I knew that was going to create a moment. That's what, bro. Him, Sap. That's what all this shit is, bro.
But I'm just tired of watching Chris just bully people around and be.
So he has watched Chris, bro. I got to tell you something. I worked with Chris. I was there. I never seen Chris bully anybody around, bro, ever. But Nick Hausman, he has seen Chris bully people around.
And
he's sick and tired of it.
If I'm Jericho's lawyer, I'm like, well, there's another line for the lawsuit right there, because he's never seen my client do anything.
And he's sick and tired of it, bro.
Yep. Chris Jericho's reputation is highly damaged right now in that fan base because of what this guy said with zero proof. Again, if what he is saying is true, you have to show that evidence, but he didn't. He has no evidence that he has shown. So he is just saying these things about Chris Jericho. Everybody's believing them. Now Chris Jericho's reputation is ruined.
I've been telling people on this channel to subscribe, and they won't.
Yes.
What can we do about that? Can you help me out? Maybe if you tell them to subscribe, they'll do it.
Threaten them. I'll threaten them
If
for
you
you.
do that, that'd be great.
Yeah. You don't have to do it till you're cursed.
After ending his feud with the Don Callis family, Jericho would return to his Lionheart gimmick and attempt to mentor Hook. Hook would respond by attempting to suplex Jericho into retirement, and an FTW title match would be set up for Dynasty 2024.
I don't think anything can redeem this. This was bad. Really bad. This was incredibly sloppy, and Jericho looked awful. The crowd was not into this at all, except for spewing, well-deserved in this case, hate in Jericho's direction. This really worked to deteriorate any momentum Hook had left, and the whole Taz ending with Jericho going over on top of that, this should not have been on the card at all. This match overstayed its welcome completely, and in all honesty, it puts a damper on the card as a whole. Worst match of the year, one of the worst, if not the worst, in AEW history. Now, just this year, this match is competing with Billy Gunn and Jay White. And we kind of have a trend where we have an older wrestler who is reaching retirement going over on a new star. Like, in a big way. I think the Billy Gunn match, which I just put a video out on, if you're curious about my reaction about that, I'm going to try not to dwell on it too much, but it was bad. And worse, because it just consisted of one move. At least we have a few spots here. We got Jericho going through some tables. The bump with the trash can was pretty fun. That definitely got me, you know, like, oh my God, is Jericho dead? You know, some of that. This isn't as good as the match that Hook had with Jericho on Dynamite previously in the year. That match was a lot better than people gave that credit for. That match was hated because, like, that match is bad because Jericho was kind of like that. That was the tagline of that. This match was bad because of Jericho, but no, really.
Jericho would not only beat Hook at Dynasty and win the FTW title, but he would go on to rename it the For the World Championship and become the Learning Tree.
Hey guys, For the World Champion Chris Jericho, the Learning Tree. Just wanted to say hi to you guys and just give you your daily lesson. Remember to always believe in yourselves, guys. That's what I do. It's taking me straight to the top. Thanks to all of you supporting me vociferously, unabashedly. Those both mean a lot. And I just want to continue to thank you for your never-ending support. And this For the World Championship is for you. And I can't wait to be on Dynamite again this Wednesday, hopefully for 3 or 4 segments. I mean, the more Jericho, the more Learning Tree, I just think the better the world is. For the world. So just want to say thanks again to you guys, and just know I'll never let you down the way that you never let me down. Thanks, everybody. Always so happy to spend time with you, and I'm never going to miss a Dynamite, ever. And I don't care if I take other people's spots. I just want to be on the show so bad so I can entertain all of you and continue to be there for you. So the Learning Tree, will see you tomorrow night, and I just can't wait. Bye, guys. Have a great day. I just want to tell you guys, today is day 30 that I've been the For the World Champion. Can you believe it? 30 whole days as the champ. That's been pretty cool. It also makes me the longest running For the World Champion in history, so you can pat me on the back for that one. And guys, the message for the day is this. If something seems too good to be true, it's usually not. You guys got to work for everything that you get, just like the Learning Tree has. That's why I've been on top of this business for 33 years and no intention of stopping now. I could go on forever, and I probably will.
Jericho would allow both Big Bill and Brian Keith to sit under the Learning Tree after both of them took it upon themselves to help Jericho defend his title on separate occasions. Now, with the Redwood and the Bad Apple in his newly formed stable, Jericho would continue his feud with Hook, who would be joined by Katsuyori Shibata and Samoa Joe.
Did anyone actually think that Jericho was going to lose this match against Samoa Joe? Like, he's told you very clearly he's never losing again. And this was the lowest rated match of this episode of Dynamite because Jericho, that's what all the negative comments are. The good comments are going to point out this is a fun match with an incredible ending where Jericho literally kills Samoa Joe with a forklift. Like, oh my God. One of the coolest spots in AEW history, actually. It looks really, really good and really convincing. People do not give AEW credit when they pull off one of these gags really, really well. The blood coming from the ceiling on Malachi Black, the forklift going through a wall looking like it's murdering Samoa Joe, and I would assume he's actually fine, but man, they really sold it. I like the way all the extra personnel comes out. You know, they try to stop him from getting on the forklift. Whatever Jericho is doing with this Learning Tree character now, this new twist, this extra deranged version of the Learning Tree Jericho, I'm loving it, man. Just keep going further with it. I hope to make another video in this series about some new iteration of Jericho. I think it's great. I think that Jericho really now is getting unfair treatment by the AEW fan base or the wrestling community or whatever you want to call it. Because this match was cool. This match was fun. Doesn't deserve the lowest rating of the night, I don't think. Maybe the other matches were all better, but this wasn't horrible by any stretch of the imagination. Other than the Walls of Jericho being no sold for 3 minutes. Fine. But look, guys, I think we're just all going to have to accept that kayfabe is dead and selling is dead. Like, I know wrestling purists out there probably hate to hear me say that or are going to get really upset with me down in the comments. But I think that the selling thing, like, usually, like, a match is going to get a lower rating on Cage Match if there's any instance whatsoever, if there's any whiff of no selling. And this was egregious no selling. So if that, for that alone, I understand why it got such a low rating on Cage Match. But, like, maybe we're just progressing past it. We all know that this is a choreographed fight. Therefore, if someone holds their finisher all the way through a commercial break, we might just understand that, you know, it's part of the show, okay? It's part of the show. Maybe we should all just repeat to ourselves, it's just a show, and we should really just relax. But those are my opinions, guys. I want to know what you think down in the comments below. And I want to make sure you see all my other videos over here. They're flashing on the screen. Make sure you check those out. And Grave Diggers, keep digging.
He is I, and I am him, and I'm the undisputed trend Matt Taven. And this dork behind the camera, some Melvin told me to say, Grave Diggers keep on digging. Whatever that means.
I am AEW wrestler and Ring of Honor Tag Champ Mike Bennett. And remember, Grave Diggers keep digging, but not the monster truck. Even though my son really likes that monster truck, I kind of like Son of a Digger, and so I'm going off on a tangent about monster trucks because my son really loves monster truck, but we're talking about the YouTube channel, so make sure, Grave Diggers, keep on digging, baby.
So this is Mark doing one half private party saying what up to the Grave Diggers, and you doing your thing, bro.
Alright, like, subscribe, and watch another video, or be cursed. If you're cursed, that means the Grave Diggers will keep digging your graves, so you probably want to do it.